I think our only shots for the fall town meeting now is the open space updates bylaw change. I've gotta get that because I gotta put a timetable together cause we have to first get it cleaned up here, vote on it, send it to the planning board. They've gotta do hearings on it and then, make sure it's ready to go for the
Now, open space,
open space bylaw, not the sections of this.
not the open space that was down to Central Mass Regional Planning.
No, this is we have a bylaw for open space, a zoning bylaw.
Yeah.
And John had said there were some sections that really needed to get cleaned up. I haven't seen them, he's gotta send those to me and I gotta get them in front of the committee to look at, see if they make sense. He was doing this as a favor, cause he's not our planner anymore. So, but that was one of the last tasks I asked him to do, before he left.
Should we have Delia take a look at it and see if she has comments on it?
Sure, if she wants to.
In case John doesn't get around to us, and that way we can still accomplish our goal.
Yeah.
Cause I mean, I trust John, it's just that he has a full-time job, like I feel, I completely understand if he were to be like, I'm sorry, I wasn't able to get it.
Oh, and I
Like,
asked him, I said, is this a burden? He goes,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
I've already got the comments, I just need to put them on paper and send them to you, so I'll rough him up again this week, cause I gave him my email address, I sent it to me a Gmail and just, I don't care if you send me a PDF with red line markups, I'll take it from there.
Right.
So I'll get back to him again. So I guess to summarize, we will attack the open space as soon as I get it and get it ready for, I think the warrant article opens September 25th, if I'm not mistaken, I'll get a look again.
Yeah.
So if we can get that, I was gonna schedule a meeting 2 weeks from today, and, that's gonna be tight. When's the planning board meeting? It's next week. So that, we would have a meeting before the planning board, we could look it over, and if there would just if it's basically just cleanups with, what's the word I'm looking for? Sections that maybe didn't match other sections, we could maybe take a look at that, as soon as I get it. Of course, if I get it, I'll send it out to the committee for review for the next meeting.
Yeah.
And then we can come look it over, and if it's good, agree that these are the changes or these aren't the changes. And we could take a motion to send it to the planning board to have them execute hearings and tell the select board or tell Delia to tell the select board to put a placeholder on for that bylaw. And then, like I said, this one that we're looking at now, we can do that with the planning board through hearings with the planning board. We don't have to put it on the agenda for the fall town meeting.
My comment with open space is I like that John's gonna help. And I just wanna hear from the board. Open space determines how dense subdivision can be too, right? I know Norm's talked about calculations, there's different.
Right, it
upland.
reduces the size of the lots.
Yeah, I guess the hardest thing, and it doesn't mean anyone would agree with me on it, but people who have to have and this is my opinion, people who in town who want an A&R have gotta meet certain frontage stuff. I'm not just gonna say people have said, hey, it's not fair, but I have heard this, you have to have 200 feet, but anyone who creates a subdivision, they don't have to play with the 200-foot rule. It would be nice to see something, cause those people who wanna live in town feel like, and maybe they have land, but they don't have frontage, they're all of a sudden, and I know even expanding the acreage is it can cut down someone's ability to build a second house, but say, it always, to me, it would, and I did agree with this comment, is if a subdivision is allowed to just kind of, I don't wanna say blow past all those rules, but just say, hey, we're gonna build a big thing, and they get, now, people in town who lived here for a while, they can't abide by the regulations that allow a subdivision to have smaller frontage, is there a way to, at least hopefully, if we go through this open spaces, to kind of get some bigger lots out of it?
It's gonna be a tough one, but go ahead, Alex.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, I mean, financially, the less houses, the less money that you have to pay to the school and the less the burden. But also, when we're talking about these steep lots, the bigger you make that lot, the more room you have to play with that slope. Like, you can take that further back and then do some grading to slope it out, or do a retaining wall or whatever. But when that back of the house is, 20 feet from the lot line or whatever, like I feel like Dan's house is a good example of where having extra room and would be beneficial, but it also lends a better aesthetic, I think, to the overall development. Like, we're a rural town, I guess still by technically the numbers, but in my opinion, I'd love to see that character maintained with the bigger lot sizes and everything. And I hear Keith's point as well, like, it should apply to all. And I kinda, if you live here and you already have a house that's on 2.5 acres and you wanna build like I think an ADU is obviously a great solution to that.
Well, I think
if you don't have the frontage, I guess.
Right.
And you maybe wanna.
and the reason, at least what I understand, the reason for the open space was the trade-off. In the subdivisions, instead of having, let's say 200 houses, you can have 120, and you've got walking trails and nature preserves in there that you can have, that a regular subdivision wouldn't have. Because a subdivision is gonna be house on house on house on house. And yes, it would be bigger, but it's still house on house. The trade-off with the open space is that I think it was a third of the subdivision property has to be trails, walking, can be woods, can be fields, all that, and that's the trade-off.
There has to be trails?
No, it doesn't,
Doesn't have to be, but that's part of what the
open space is
Okay,
for
like
the
nature, preserved
Yeah.
It
nature,
is
I got
for,
you.
Yeah.
for the homeowners there, if it's an HOA, they have the right to that. If the developer turns that property, now some of the property was turned over to the town. So the town has ownership of it, so the town can make recreation fields out of it or something like that
Yeah.
in the future. Or trails, or you can do,
That was the thought, Keith, behind open space, when we
Yeah.
added it to the subdivision, was giving opportunities to subdivisions
there would,
to have,
could be 3 owners, town, the developer,
or the whole HOA.
I think the
HOA.
idea is good, it bears weight, I don't know that we're getting out of it what the intent was.
A lot of subdivisions have open space.
Yeah.
And they were turned over to HOAs. And again, Dick, you can probably comment like I can on this, HOAs did nothing with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that really is out of any board's control. Once it's turned over to the HOA, the subdivision, it's theirs. If they choose not to do anything with it, or not to form a board to take care of it. I
Right.
mean, I grew up in a subdivision in Indiana that we had an HOA, and we had a park. We had an HOA at the end of our subdivision that they ended up putting a baseball field. They put I don't call it a gazebo, but a place where you could have summertime crafts for the kids.
That's nice.
And then the other area was basically open field with swing sets. And that was all my HOA, I shouldn't say mine, the subdivision's HOA put that together as part of the monies they collected over time. I mean, they didn't do it in a year.
Right,
5
right,
to 10 years they developed that. And then part of the fees for renting out like the recreation area went back to the HOA.
Right.
So there was a way to do it, but unfortunately, and I could be wrong, there is an HOA in Rutland I know of that's done that. They haven't mowed it, they haven't kept it up.
No, they haven't done
I
it.
got a question, but you
Yep.
guys can talk if you have it. I guess, so we have sort of some good feeling about it, but say they use that open space calculation, and they're like, well, you can have all the wetland. Well, then essentially, those people that own that, say it's HOA'd into a wetland, no one can use it, no one can do anything with it but kind of look at it, so it,
And what's wrong with that?
and there is, yeah,
Because
But-
I love the wildlife part of it.
yeah, but say.
But there's
with
the
all
aspect
those-
of like,
those-
I can't build on it, here you go.
And that's
Like,
one of the reasons why the open space can only have a certain percentage of wetlands.
Correct.
Okay.
We
You can't
it-
have a third of it all wetlands, is
Well,
what,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
right, yeah, you can't do that.
Have they handed over kind of
No. Nope.
tough straw on that. And then,
Nope.
I guess the other thing would be, you know, yeah, that mainly that it's not overused in a way that actually just hands over something. Cause if you say, you know, it would be nice to see if a developer is required to prep the land, not clear cut the open space, but prep the land and then leave it in a state, kind of like the appearance of a state park, and not just be like, here's the crappiest part of the yard.
I-
Decide not to do
Well, I'm sorry, but usually what they do is clear cut to get the money from the logs to help the developer get started.
But then the but they're not are they allowed to clear cut open space?
Yeah, because it's all prior to
The actual primitive.
passing in the
Well,
subdivision rules and
Okay,
regs.
so
that
it's
you-
the primitive plan or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you can own 100 acres, and you might, down the road, wanna turn it into a subdivision.
Mm,
That doesn't mean you can't go in and clear cut it, then do the subdivision, go through the
Yeah.
preliminary and
So I guess
definitive
then they have
plans. Yeah,
At least it's
and
clear
we,
and open,
It's
but,
cleared it open, and usually, you know, they'll either chip it and haul the chips away, but if the
Yeah,
market
yeah.
isn't there, they'll just leave the brush to rot, which is okay.
and I'm gonna say that's it, because we're getting into the weeds too
Yes.
much, and I wanna get back to the site
Yes.
plan.
Okay.
but if we can look into that
Yeah,
sort of
I
stuff
would
when
say
we
Go
down
back
that
to
road.
some of the open spaces that we already have. It's
Since
too
we
bad.
know we're gonna talk about this,
Yeah.
I would
Gotta get
advise
Julia to
the
look.
committee to grab that off of the
Yeah.
website, take a look at it.
Yeah.
And if you've got comments, please bring comments to the next meeting, cause I'm putting it on the agenda, cause right now we only have one now, I'm gonna put it on the agenda as number 2 to talk about the open space, cause I can see there's a lot of feedback, and I don't wanna get too deep in the woods,
Yeah.
cause Vanna, what you said, I'm getting off topic, I wanna get
Yeah.
back to site plan.
So for reference, and Keith, for your notes, it's and you have it on your computer too, it's Article 6.
Yeah.
That, what,
Under
like
zoning
the two
bylaw.
S's, what is that?
Subsection.
Subsection, 27, 28, I mean, it's all right here, are we?
Yep. It's just if we do wanna address it
Subsection what?
27, 28.
27?
27,
through 38.
And like I said,
Okay.
take a look at it, and as soon as I get John's comments, my email, I'm just gonna forward it. I'm not gonna spend time going through it and looking at them, forward it, I'll let everybody take a look at the raw version, and we can talk about it in the next meeting.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, let's get back to the site plan. Again, we had two good, Delia had gotten us Worcesters and Paxton,
Yep.
and then Concords, and, I don't wanna, I was trying to keep this meeting down to an hour and a half, cause I wanna get framework built, and then we can spend future meetings getting into the weeds. Cause if we don't get an outline built of what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it, we're gonna get into the weeds and get nowhere.
that's what we're doing.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to get this now. About, the first thing we're gonna have to do is put a purpose together. And like I said, I know I'm being a cut and paster, but, I looked at Worcester's, looked at Concords, I like to add an E from my own personal plane that I never got to fly on, but anyhow. And I liked the way Paxton had written their purpose section. They made it sort of, integral to the town's character and infrastructure, so they sort of said, this is why we're doing it for the town. Worcester's was more of a generic discussion, and, Concord basically did the requirements and the character of the land as sort of their, what's the word I'm looking for, their overall purpose. So I just wondered if anybody had any opinions about, the three of them for, are we gonna, I guess what I'm looking for is, any of these, did you consider a good framework to start from? Do we wanna use that as our template and then build it for Rutland? That's what I'm looking for feedback on.
Paxton?
Yeah, I
With
thought-
the exception of a new last line. Must have sign off by all departments, Harry.
I don't wanna get in, Dick, I don't wanna get,
Commonwealth of Mass, fed if required. But departments, I want Concom, planning board, or whoever, I want physical penmanship there saying, yes, we signed off. Because right now, the town of Rutland, I'm down,
Deep rustic. Not worth your blood pressure going up.
Yeah.
More.
town of Rutland is not doing it properly, and I want sign off so that everybody will be held accountable. Period.
I think that's a great idea. I think, I know we're all keeping track of what's going on in this town. Yesterday's Concom meeting expressed the importance of collaboration with boards. And if we get things in the bylaws that says that everybody needs to sign off, I think that leads to more collaboration, more eyes on something, because we're all human. We could
Yeah.
possibly miss something where the planning board has one way of viewing things. Concom looks at this way. Harold's gonna look at it a different way. So I agree with you. I think it should be everybody.
Yeah.
We sort of have that.
And we don't, because,
If no one uses it, then
correct. Because I went to DCR and I asked them, I went to DEP and asked them too. And they both said, that's a great idea. Now get it done. I said, okay, I'll try.
yeah.
If they want it, I wish the heck they would pass it on to the town saying, hey, we want sign-offs.
Reminds me of the road policy that John made. It's like, it's structured and, that's a long one, but it says everyone's gotta get these documents before it can go to the next.
Right.
And
You're
then
gonna
it's
have a
gotta
tough
go-
time with that, if you put it in the subdivision regs. Cause the subdivision regs do not require sign-offs by Concon, does not require sign-offs by anybody else. They get copies and they can put comments, but they don't get sign-offs. So now you're changing the subdivision regs. I don't think we wanna walk down that path, I really don't.
Why
not?
I have cause we'd have to change the subdivision regs, that isn't happening overnight. That's gonna be a process that's gonna go on for months, if not a year. If you wanna get this done, I'm fine with that, but if you're gonna get into, now we're gonna go into changing the subdivision regs. That's not the site plan, that's a whole different conversation.
I was on the Ware River Advisory Committee.
Yep.
The head of DCR, Dan Clark from Quabbin, said, Dick, I'm making a map, because you had asked a map for Zone A water protection areas in the town of Rutland. Thank you. And the next thing I knew that all the other towns stood up, we want one, so everybody got one. Do they follow that in this town? No.
I don't have problems
Don't.
with putting it as review.
Recording stopped.
Uh-oh,
Yeah, we'll give them a minute. but-
I'll give him a minute before we go on.
Okay, thank you for doing that.
It stopped at the, okay, part. Take a break.
Take a break.
No,
It's been a long story.
Yeah.
It just, let's put it this way. I'm old, I have ringing in my ears, and the ringing's come on very hard and strong lately, because I've been trying to get the town to correct things that they did wrong. And it's been a freaking uphill
Hi.
battle.
Oh.
I know the recording that gave you a notice, you're still being recorded, it was just a separate recording that we
Okay.
turned off.
Oh, okay, good, let's keep going.
Thank you.
Yes, you're good.
So,
Thank you.
I guess what I wanna say
Alright.
is, Dick, to your point, in the Paxton section under the review portion, it calls out Board of Health, Conservation, Building Commissioner, Water Department, Highway, Paxton Municipal Light Department, we wouldn't have, and any other board official deemed necessary. So it gives the opportunity for those to be reviewed. So Amanda, to your point, right there is the section that gives them the review.
But it says refer copies to site plan, does not say review and sign. Cause
You-
refer copies, that just means, hey, here's the copy.
Yeah.
And it just sits on someone's desk. Or maybe
That's-
nobody even
Could
reads
work,
it.
go nowhere.
That's what we do with all A&Rs and subdivisions, it's
but-
not required to sign.
Well, I think we should make it be required.
Yeah.
I
would
don't have a
agree.
problem with that, I just need to find out, can you do that?
Why not? Well, I mean, we're drafting it to what works for Rutland, it's gonna go to legal. Legal has a problem with it, kick it back.
Yeah.
Alright,
I agree.
Do you have any other concerns about that?
Is there a mystery?
if I had a department of multiple people and was sending that, if we're talking about, this is getting into individual lots on a site.
It's gonna
There
take
could-
forever.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, is there's gonna be a lot of process, and this town doesn't have the staff for it. We don't even have a town engineer. So I'm okay with putting it in there, don't get me wrong, I don't wanna say no. But I'm just looking at, is it gonna happen? Is it gonna get hung up in the process?
For example, with Concom, there's wetlands right here.
Yep.
And then these three properties touch it. And then these ones don't. Well, if then Concom's gonna be reviewing every single property, they're gonna specifically look at these ones, right? But if it would require them to then look at the other ones, because these are gonna be affecting that one that are gonna affect the wetlands.
They only have and it's my minimum knowledge, you're gonna have more than me, they only have a certain footage they can go out. Past that, they don't have any authority out there.
But if they're then looking at this, they're looking at it with their Concom eyes, where they may see
Right.
something that the planning board doesn't, or.
And they might give us advice, I mean, they might not
Oh, I'm
be
fine
able
with
to.
that, that's why I saw the review
If I
here.
wanna let the cat out of the bag, I'd give you a Lulu of what the Concom screwed up with, but I'm not going to.
We can only move forward.
Yes.
Let's look at the mistakes that we have seen in patterns in this town and ways to prevent them from happening again. And I think this may be a way to do it.
Let legal, I'm all for putting it in there, and then let legal tell us yes or no.
I think that's the right
Because
move.
this is what's happened always what I've seen, even in my days on the engineering side. You send out the drawings, you give them a date to review them. If they don't review them, they're deemed approved. They had their opportunity to review them and give comments, and if they don't, it's approved.
So then maybe we should put a
There's-
deadline in there.
Well, that's what
There
this
is.
calls out. It calls out 30 days. They got
Oh,
30 days to
definitely.
review it,
30 days.
and if they don't, it's considered approved. And then, so when it comes back to,
I agree, it's
you know,
not very
what,
long.
why did that have why didn't you look at it? Then it's gonna be somebody else's department reason why they didn't look at it. So, that's what's been typically done in the past. Instead of sign-offs, you've got 30 days to get me comments, and if you don't get comments, it's deemed approved. And if there's a problem down the road, you're gonna have to answer why you didn't comment on it.
So then should we make sure that the workflow is appropriate? They can't submit, 10 houses at one time and expect us to get through them all in 30 days?
I don't think you
But
can.
subdivisions, usually they do the whole thing.
Yeah, on the
So-
subdivision portion, that site plan would have to be laid out. If we're gonna put it in again, you guys tell me if I'm off base. When they're doing the subdivision design for the preliminary, or for the definitive, I would expect these site plans to be in there as part of that whole package that's submitted,
Yeah.
not individuals. So when we're doing this for the subdivision, we're looking, somebody comes in with let's just throw a number out, 30 houses. I would expect site plans for all 30 houses laid out in that submission. So when they went to be reviewed by the Concon, the chief of police, they would have that subdivision along with the site plan requirements that we have as all part of one package that they have to review and comment on.
And we're also talking, this is planning board business, but about an outside reviewer for like having a team with all the slopes that we're dealing with and all that stuff. They would be helping us review that stuff within those 30 days.
Oh, yeah, that's part of, when we do preliminary, we usually look at it. But when it gets to definitive, we go out and get support on that.
Yeah.
That's not something that,
All right.
because I'm an electrical engineer, I'm not a civil or a soil engineer, so I wouldn't even tackle that and I don't have a PE, so I wouldn't even go down that path. I would have that go out. And if I remember right, the board did that too. We typically send that out for review and comment.
Yeah.
From our engineering consultant that we're using.
Would it be appropriate to push it out from 30 days to 45 or 60 to give?
Yeah, I'm
In
fine
all
with that.
honesty,
Yeah.
nowadays, I think it's a great idea
Yeah,
to do
let's do
that.
So I guess what I'm getting at is, does this structure from Paxton work, or do we wanna use it and add to it? I wanna get the outline set up of how we're gonna attack this, and then we can go paragraph by paragraph. And if we don't like what's there, we add to it. If we wanna add something extra, let's add to it. But I didn't wanna get into the weeds right now. I wanna get us a 30,000 foot view of all of the sections we wanna attack, and then let's attack one by one and knock them out, so we can start getting progress towards this section that we wanna put towards the subdivision bylaw, or subdivision regulations, sorry, I keep saying bylaw. So,
Just to let you know, I mean, when I went through this thing on the 14.5 standard for approvals, at the very end of G, it says et cetera, etc. Remove it, or it will always leave a legal way around. You know, well, et cetera could mean anything.
Anything, yeah, I'm fine
So
with
that's
that.
why I
When we
say
get to that,
erase it.
We can get rid of that. So if everyone's okay with the 6 sections, I'm good for putting together a document that would say, it wouldn't say Town of Paxton, it would say Town of
Yes.
Rutland, zoning bylaw, and I'm not gonna put the section, I'm just gonna say site plan approval section in subdivision rules and regulations. And then put this, and I won't put section 14, I'll just put section XX.
Yeah.
And then put basically purpose, using required site plan review, site plan procedure, and then subsections filing, submissions, and then plan review, plan fees, decision. I'll put those sections in there and then go to 14.5 standards for approval and then site plan conditions. And then we can go through Paxton's, and if you see something in Worcester or Concord that you wanna add into those sections, or if you come up with something, we can start knocking them out. So what I was gonna ask Dee to do, send me this, if she's got it in Word,
Yes.
and let me, and if it's not, and she's got a PDF sent to me, cause I've got the tools from my company that I can turn this into a Word document.
That'd be great.
And then and once I get it formulated, give me some time to do that, I'll send it out to the entire committee and ask for comments.
That'd be great because the PDF that she sent, I cannot copy, I cannot like highlight it and copy it into a Word
That
document.
means,
It's
that
flat.
means it's not editable, it's just a dead PDF.
Which I appreciate, Dick, you have it printed out and
That's what I've got too,
I
yeah.
do not. So for me,
Yeah.
it would work best. I keep everything on my computer, so that would be great. I don't know if you're on the same boat as me where you do everything electronically.
Yeah.
I'm old, I like paper. And my guys at work hate me because I'll do markups in red lines or red, I'm old, we used to use red and green pens for adds and deletes, greens is adds, reds are deletes, and I'll give them to the guys and they're like, what am I gonna do with that? I go, you asked for comments, I gave you comments. And they're like, well, use the Adobe redlining
Yes,
tool.
Yes.
What's Adobe?
I'm good with computers,
I don't.
but I'm faster when I've got something in front of me, I can think instead of scrolling. Cause then I can look back, anyhow, it's just me. So, but I definitely will get the electronic form out to the committee, send it to Norm too. And then if you see anything in Worcester or any other ones, I've done some looks and there's other towns out there.
Should we look at Holden?
Holden, see, they don't have a site plan review. What they have is Holden has, they have like a bunch of separate bylaws that all go towards this site plan. So they use different bylaws to basically accomplish the same thing. Cause I talked to Dave George, I said, Dave, you got something you can send me? He goes, we don't do it that way here. We've got different sections, like we'll have a slope as part of one section. We'll have a drainage as part of another section. So he doesn't have one complete document like Paxton did. And I think that's what we wanna do is get like one section and then we can slide it into the subdivision regs under requirements for definitive plan. I'm not so sure I'd force them to do preliminary, cause preliminary is just basically what they're gonna do, how they're gonna lay it out.
Yeah.
Definitive, cause you could, I mean, we've got a subdivision, where is it on, you know what I'm talking about, that was put in 15 years ago, that was preliminary.
Preliminary.
And
And I can't
no,
remember the name.
they can't build it,
It's
they can't do
122.
anything with it because the board never approved it.
Right.
Can you bring that preliminary plan back to us? Great, but we will not act until you give us a definitive plan.
Right.
So that's why I'm not excited about telling them that you gotta do all of this for a preliminary plan, but when it comes to definitive, I want this to get slid into that definitive plan, rules and regs for how they're gonna build the subdivision.
So that is before they start breaking ground.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
just to be clear.
they have to,
Oh, yeah.
the board has to approve it, and once it's approved, then it has to have all the conditions added to it, and that's part of the approval process. And then, if I remember right, there's a waiting period, or maybe not, I don't wanna quote
Yeah.
what I don't know. But the definitive plan has to be approved by the planning board and signed off.
Okay, thank you.
Is there,
It's to prove that they can put this X number of houses on there, that's
Yep.
what.
Yeah, we don't,
And then once we sign off, then they do the definitive and lay it all out.
yes, and the layout is where I wanna get this site plan
Yeah.
in, so That way we can see how the houses are gonna be built, and we have the topography, and we know, what are the other stuff they had in there with their submissions? The boundaries, it has all the arrows, has basically, locations of utility systems, which is part of, our definitive requires that anyhow. You've gotta show where the sewers, water lines, electric, if it's gonna be underground is, all that stuff's gotta be laid out. Oh.
When they submit a definitive plan, and say we want them to change things because we have the ability to ask them to change things, right? Is there a clock ticking that we have to get it done within?
Definitive is not, there's no,
shot clock.
because
No.
it's not a bylaw, there's no
Okay.
mass MGL other than the subdivision rules and regs are on the planning board.
Right.
It's all negotiations.
Yeah.
Yes, which would be nice, because it's possible they may hold off on wanting to do
If
things.
Anybody thinks a definitive plan's getting through one subdivision, one planning board meeting,
No,
they're
Yeah.
sadly
No
mistaken,
way.
cause I've seen them take 6 months,
Yeah.
I've seen them take a year, I've seen them taking 3 months.
yeah,
Just depends on the complexity and what the
Yeah.
negotiations are with the planning board.
and,
What difficulties you come up against.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
That's
they
the
can
whole
always
thing.
submit waivers, but they've gotta prove a reason for it, I mean, that's.
A good example for just the committee's knowledge, I'll wait till you're back, Alex. Okay, no, I'll wait till you're back, I wanna make sure,
Yeah,
this is good knowledge for everybody.
Yeah,
because that's one of the reasons
Keith, this
why-
is the free training session on the planning board.
yeah,
I really wish Lauren would come to some of these if she's gonna be an associate member,
Yeah, I
cause it'd be a
think-
good learning experience for her.
She's supposed to come next.
Is Lauren your niece, that woman?
My nephew's wife.
So she's not your niece?
No.
That's not nice.
We'll,
Sorry,
we'll,
but-
we'll walk away from this, I don't want any conflict in this meeting, no conflict. So
So,
she has applied, from what
Yes.
Tamika said,
yes,
to be an associate member.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I really want her to get involved, this is
Right.
just me personally, cause
And I'm glad you guys are involved, because guess what? I have this many months left.
8 months left? Oh, I can't see the
Nine.
thumbs.
Nine.
9,
yeah, and
May,
I-
when the month of May comes and,
and I can't force him
I'm out.
anymore because I got him to stay 3 years and his wife said no, so I'm dead with the wife if I try to get any more out of him.
How many years do you have on the planning board?
31 at the moment.
Yeah,
No,
you've served your tour of duty, Dick.
My time is up,
Yeah, it's time, yeah.
and
So,
I don't like getting hot and heavy.
I hear ya.
so Keith, your question one more time.
Sorry about that.
Just the length of time, the possibility that they're gonna hold off on it, or hold back, or waivers, I did bring up waivers.
And see, that's what I wanted to move into.
Yeah.
One of the best sessions I've had was this young lad did not want Hilltop State being built because they were asking too many waivers. And Marilyn and I thought, well, you know what? This is the time that we should get something out of the developer if we're gonna give waivers. So we spent in the discussion on the planning board with the developer that, okay, you can have these waivers, but we want this. And it was back and forth, a negotiation, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the town was gonna get something if you're getting a waiver.
Yeah.
And so it was back and forth negotiation, with the developer to get, and what we thought was fair for the town to get something in return for giving that waiver. And after we got done with it, Dick looked at it and said, okay,
Yeah,
he's not getting 13 waivers, he's getting 6, and the town's getting this with it. So that's a fair, given, I call it put and takes for that subdivision. And then the board went ahead and approved it. But the initial offer was, I want 13 waivers and no give, and we were like, nah, it ain't working that way.
can we
So
make
that,
a section for waivers that
Ooh.
says?
you
gotta
don't,
No, you don't want to.
because that, again, this is my opinion,
Oh, they-
you guys could talk. But
Yeah,
you paint yourself into a corner, and the person I learned this from, I was in your boat.
yeah,
Addison Redfield goes, Tim, cut that out, all you're doing is painting the board into a corner if you try to be too restrictive. Because the
well,
less.
it's open-ended, but it just says we be expected that there can be the one-to-one ratio applied to waivers, just so they don't, I wouldn't say a different board is in things get away and people don't realize they have that charm to work with that purpose. If it, I don't know if it can be.
Then it
this-
turns into like a quid pro quo almost,
Exactly.
and like
Is it?
then,
Okay.
yeah, like I don't know if, I get what you're saying, yeah, cause like, while you don't wanna do a quid pro quo, it's like if I'm gonna do this for you, like you gotta offer me, like,
And that's
make it
what-
appealing in
And
some
that's
way or
what, that's
shape
where the
or
board's
form.
experience would come in and say, listen, I get you on all these waivers, but I need that road gravelled. It can't say dirt, so if you gravel the section in front of the subdivision and make it appealable for people coming in and out of subdivision, then that waiver would make sense to me. And I'm not saying what waiver, but that's just an example, and that's the negotiations that the board has to go through. And in my experience, again, because I'm dealing with this now in my company, every freaking thing is different.
Yeah,
So if you try to make rules, or like Alex said, quid pro quo, you really can't, because you're sort of painting yourself in a corner, and you don't wanna do that. You wanna give more flexibility to the board to negotiate than force them into a situation by rules and regs that they can't.
yeah.
That's been my experience, but
Or if they think they can just suggest what their return would be on the
Yes.
waiver, and it's just like,
and Addison taught me that giving the board more flexibility sounds like it's bad, but it's actually good, cause it gives the board more reasons to say no, or we want something in return, or we want three things in return for year one. That's the board's call then. So that's why I wanted to, when we get down to the section over here with, under submission requirements and what we're looking for, and standard, and yes, that whole section, which is 1 through 10, of what you're looking for, what's it gonna be in. That's where I really wanna make sure we give some serious thought process to that of what we want. Do we want topology? Do we want utilities? Do we want placement of house? Knowing that it can move as long as it's in there, but we want the topology to see if you do move it, then are you moving it to a side of a hill? Does that house, that site plan include a over 8-foot retaining wall, which is gonna need to be engineered? Need to know all that stuff, or is there a drop off in the back that you need a retaining wall there?
Yeah.
To keep the back of the yard from going you down into the side of the hill, down instead of up. So that kind of stuff, we get into submission requirements and procedures, and, again, if we wanna add a section, or get more detailed with like elevations, earth removal, stuff like that, that's where I wanna get into the weeds of this as we go through the sections.
Okay.
It's almost like we're doing the town charter, we're going through
Yeah.
sections
Yeah.
and knocking them off.
I'm gonna send to you folks Princeton's site plan review.
Okay.
It's a lot more concise than Paxton's, not necessarily to use that one, but there's two that's in there that talks, but we won't get into the weeds, but I'm gonna send this to you guys. There's two sections I think we should,
Do not hit reply all
why?
when you send this out, cause it's like a quorum, right?
Well, I'm sending it to Delia, Alex, Charles.
But I'm saying that
Norman, Tim.
when we read it, we can't reply
No.
all to everyone, it has to be
You can send it out as information
correct.
to be
Yes.
reviewed,
You can't
but you
discuss
can't
it.
discuss it.
Correct.
That's
So
the open
I-
meeting law.
So I can put, please see Princeton's site plan
Yes.
review attached.
Yes.
Boom, thank you.
Even if you went to at the bottom, I've almost wanna get a legal one, please do not respond to this.
I'm gonna write that.
I'm
Please
serious.
do not respond to this email.
Yeah, I mean, I've
Thank you,
gotten that
Alex.
at work when we get from legal,
we can talk about it now.
Right.
yeah. So, I
Do you
mean,
want
it's
me to take
7:30, going on 8, I wanna know, I'll put together Paxton, get it out to the team, get out the committee, I call it team, that's what I'm used to saying. And then, is that a PDF that you've got?
I think I can highlight it, but it looks.
Then
like
that means it's an editable PDF, which means I can turn it into a Word
I
document.
think so. Let me see if I can turn it into Word.
Oh, you've got Adobe,
I have no idea what I have.
okay. I use Adobe, the big dollar one that the company gives me to turn everything into Word so I can modify it.
Yeah, no, this is just whatever came with the computer. It
No
didn't,
formatting. no.
didn't
Yeah,
format
You
it.
can do it a section at a time and just, it'll take forever, that's what's, and I, not to look at a squirrel, but, this subdivision regulations are just in HTML format, there's no official, like, PDF. So you
Well,
have to view it
many-
via the website, not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
many years ago,
Document.
somebody in this planning board took all of the bylaws
Yeah,
that were in PDFs and turned them into a Word document and gave it to the clerk.
and it's
What they
okay
did
that
with
it's
that,
on the
I don't know.
website, but it's like the one out of all of them, you know,
Well,
you
she
got
probably,
zoning,
Nita probably has to do that, cause she can't put that stuff on Word document, because somebody get in there and modify
delete
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, not delete, that could happen too, but
Yeah.
typically, most
Yeah.
people, and I'm surprised they put an editable PDF on a website, cause typically they don't. Cause somebody get in there and do highlighting, I don't think they could ever put it back on, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
So,
but it's just,
I guess for homework, what I'm asking is, I'll get you the Paxton portion, and if you could comment it like somebody's already done, Mr. Extra Credit. And then, Amanda, if you send us the Princeton one,
Yes.
and if you can get that into Word and send it out, that'd be great. If
Doing it
not,
right
send
now.
me the editable one and I'll do it, but I appreciate your help
Doing
with
it
giving
right
us.
now. You bet.
And then take those and if you want to, cut and paste in red and, bring them. And then, we'll have Mr. Clerk over here keep that copy. All you gotta do is attach.
are you saying edit the entire Princeton document, or just work on?
I'm
those
saying,
three sections?
Paxton's?
I wanna use
Paxton,
Paxton as the basis.
Yeah.
Cause we gotta have something to start from. If we take sections out of Princeton and cut and paste it in, that's good, but we need one
We need a global.
as an
Yeah.
engineer, I'm used to one
We
document
need
and
a
I
mother
redline it.
document.
Yep, and you redline it. And, what we'll do is,
So everyone would submit their own red line version of the mother
Yep.
document, and then we've got a.
well, submit it to
Create it.
everybody, let them talk it over, and then the master document would be the one that all the comments go into. And then and I learned from Maryland, and then at the end, that master document is got all the comments in it. And then it becomes the document that we would vote on and send to the planning board for them to, I don't know, we've never done a reg update, we've only done bylaw updates, so I'm not sure, we'll talk about this on Tuesday as a undecided, or what do we call this? Unanticipated comments of what the planning board has to do, do they accept it and then call hearings, do they
Yeah.
debate it? I mean,
We
it's
did-
sort of the planning board's here, so if
Yeah.
you give it to them, I mean,
We
they know what
did-
they're getting already.
We did the use table, that was an example of
Yeah.
John just going, hey, review it, check it out.
The
let's
other
go
thing,
back
Amanda,
and-
which if you could, is make sure Delia's copied whatever you send out too.
Yes, thank you.
Cause I'm gonna do the same thing, I'm gonna make sure she's in the loop on everything we do. I
Absolutely.
need our planner to be on the same page with us.
Do we know how much longer we will have a planner?
You mean how much longer? She's on for another 3 months, they extended her.
Oh, they
intern-
did. I wasn't informed of that.
The select board did that, they said they're gonna
When
keep
was
her
that?
on,
When was that? Yeah.
2 meetings ago.
Okay.
My understanding is they were, again, maybe they didn't vote on it, but what I'd heard is the chairman had said that they're going to keep her on until the next town administrator comes and let him make decisions on what he's gonna do.
Oh, wonderful.
Or she, I apologize.
That's
He
okay.
or she that is gonna make that decision.
My
I hadn't
concern.
confirmed that with Norm, I didn't ask him, I'd heard that, so I guess maybe we should ask Norm if that's what.
I was at the last select board meeting, unless there was one in between.
You mean the one Tuesday?
Well, I was the one before that. and they
Okay,
did
that's
not-
what I thought they discussed it.
You know what? I might have left after I said my 2 cents about whatnot. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't hurt, we've got a planning board meeting coming up Tuesday, we could all ask that, and it'll be videoed, so I'll ask Norm that question. Cause that's what I was under the assumption is, her 3 months,
Yeah, because you got here in July.
yep, her 3-month interim was up, and the decision was asked on what they were gonna do. And the select board, because she actually reports to the town administrator, she doesn't report to the planning board, planning board really is just a use of her time. Her boss is the town administrator / select board. But typically they'll ask for comments from our, cause we're a percentage of her time. So,
Do we know, just so that I understand, why is she not here tonight when she was at our meeting 2 weeks ago? Okay,
She did the agenda for me.
okay.
She got that out.
I
She's
think in
got-
the beginning there was discussion that she would just listen to these afterwards. I don't know if that's how it went
And
down. if
you're
that's what
right,
they
Alex, and we
decided,
said when we needed her, we would ask her to come, and I don't think we're at the stage yet that we really need a lot of input, cause we gotta get sort of our crap together
Yeah.
before we, get her looking at this, cause that's why I wanted to get the framework tonight. We'll get into the weeds and start taking sections, and then I can ask her if she wants to wait till we get a good portion of it done to come and throw some advice in, or if she wants to come to the next meeting while we're getting into the weeds and give advice. I'm fine with that.
What I find very helpful, where I'm noticing a difference with her not being here tonight, we'll talk about a bylaw or something and she'll be like, da-da-da, and then she pulls it up. Where I'm trying to do that and I'm not as proficient as she is, because this is not my full-time job. So I'm noticing that her absence tonight.
she's a very valuable asset, I can tell you that
Yeah.
much.
You know, it's all, yeah, where you find it, where
Listen,
you look. and-
When we were able to get a full-time planner, being on both sides of the fence of before and after, what a godsend,
I
because
can't imagine.
I can't
we
imagine
were-
not.
Yeah.
Because most of the people on the board had full-time jobs or was busy with something,
Yeah.
and then trying to do everything else. That's why I say when outside people is like, well, you miss things. Well, we were jack of all trades, master of none, and we had, occasionally we would get a planner we would hire. They'd work with us for a couple months or maybe 3 months. I mean, I think the longest we had was a year with that gentleman who's now the director of a regional planning. And then they'd be gone. And then we have to start over, have to find one, because it was all paid. It came out of our revolving fund. So on top of that, we had to make sure we had money. I remember Bill Scanlon when we had him, we actually ran out of money. We couldn't pay him, so we had to say, listen, we can't pay you, so we really don't want you coming to meetings unless you're doing it for free.
Well, I think that's kind of the point, is that, you know, whatever mistakes may have been made, I mean, you guys are only human. And you're the other side of the table is lawyers, architects, engineers, and that is their full-time job.
And we relied
So-
on them. We had Cullen Engineering.
And I think, you know, making continuity between the planners is super important. We had John for I don't know how long, but it wasn't very long. And now Delia, and we can't afford to have somebody spin up again and get their wheels under, their feet under them and then go. I can't imagine having done this without a town planner.
It was,
It was before we had a lot of bylaws, and it was before a lot of things, we only
So
had.
the handshake days.
well,
Exactly.
easier.
but it was a lot of, what's good for the town, and if you don't like it, you're gonna sit in that chair and argue with us for the next 6 months, cause we're not backing down. So a lot of that happened, and that's where the black and white wasn't black and white, cause we didn't have a lot of bylaws, it was gray, and the board was looking out for the town's perspective, not anybody else's. And I say that cause I saw it, and one of the ones that was a real pain in the butt, that was Mike Sullivan. Mike was here, he was it was his way or the highway, and his way was, this is the way we're looking out for the town. So anyhow, I'm off subject. So what I want to get is, I'll get this out to you. Amanda, I appreciate finding that Princeton one, cause that'll be a good adder, so I'll put homework of looking at this.
Yeah, I'm already finding some gaps in this, so I think it was,
Just pieces, again,
yeah.
the one thing I've done, and I again learned this from Maryland early on, is cut and paste is not a bad thing. And as an engineer, I don't reinvent the wheel.
No.
Especially as a boiler engineer, they've been building boilers since the 1800s. I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm gonna take the wheel and make
Right.
it better, but I'm not gonna reinvent it.
And
So,
some of these might just end up being, you know, sprinkles on top or, you
Yeah.
know, what have you.
Changing the word.
and when I looked over Worcester's, like Delia said, I mean, that's really set up for a city.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not for a rural community, and Concord was, when I read through theirs, was set up for, and I say this not in any disrespect to them, but an inside the 128 belt, which
Yeah.
is not.
They got a
Rutland.
lot
Yeah,
more
it's
tax
different.
money and everything
Yeah.
else in order to, they can
So-
put in more minutia and have people to track that down.
Yeah, and they've got bigger departments, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Joe Buckley went to Tewksbury and, he basically got a bank
a big
account
town.
that he didn't have in Rutland for all of the equipment and personnel. We just don't have that.
Yeah.
So, that's good, we're approaching it, I wanted to do about an hour and a half.
Sure.
Public comment,
Yeah.
I'll get to that, since I think unless we've got any more comments, I think we got a lot to look into.
Go on, yeah.
Harry, any comments? I'm not seeing him unmuting, so I guess he's just listening. Okay, date-wise, do we wanna do in 2 weeks?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. I have no comments, but I like the ideas that you guys are coming up with. I think it's great, and I think this will help the town move forward in a great way. And I like Dick's comments about, maybe if it's possible, having people sign off on it. I see every opinion there, but, there's a lot of responsibility on the planning board. And you're right, we need other people to buy into this, to take responsibility for some of this stuff. If we can't do it, we can't do it. But, maybe you should bring it up to the select board. That's all I have to say.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Harry.
Thanks, Harry.
2 weeks, that would
2
put
weeks.
us, I gotta look at my map.
That should be the 17th.
Look at this. Hey, Tim, I just sent you the open space design bylaw to your email. Son of a,
Good, we'll have it tomorrow.
we call that ears burning in the
Yeah.
engineering world, so I'll get that out to you, probably not tonight, I'll do it tomorrow. You said, check your spam folder, you might have put me in spam, yeah, okay. No, I wouldn't. So I'll get that out to the committee,
Great.
and, please look that over. I wanna look at 2 weeks, cause I wanna try to,
17th,
I
yeah.
wanna
17th.
space these between the planning board meetings.
Between.
Yeah, so we've got one on the 10th, we got one and the 24th of this month, so if
That's
we
a
didn't,
lot for you guys, 2 nights in a row.
I mean, I got RDIC tomorrow, so I've got 2 meetings right in a row.
Well, I know you have little kids, I mean, we have little kids, not that I go to those anymore, but
Okay. Is the 17th too much? Do you wanna do,
I think that's
It's 2
fine.
weeks.
Yeah, I can make something work.
Weeks.
cause in the past, the and again, I'm not trying to emulate the past, but in the past, the bylaw subcommittee went once a month, and I think
No,
that's too
that's too
less.
long.
Yeah, I think we
We
have a
have too
lot to
much-
Too
tackle.
much right now.
Yeah.
I just assumed
Consistent.
I mean,
It
I'm,
just- it
I'm
came
in
down
with
to
both
schedules.
feet. If I have to, I can zoom in. Like I'll make it.
Then we'll just do the 17th, and
Okay.
we'll plan on, same 6:30, if that's good with everybody, is that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say 6:30 is cause sometimes I get stuck at work at 5 and trying to get on Route 9 to 495 to
What are you
Rutland,
working?
Southborough.
Oh, that's not a great commute.
No.
It's not
And-
Boston though.
Yes, I had to go to Needham today, and to get from my office on 85 to Needham was longer than me to get from,
I went to
south.
Newton today too.
Yeah, to
Or
get,
Newton Heights really, but
it took me longer to get from 85 to Charles River, my gate station I was going to, than it took me to get to Rutland.
yeah.
Just,
Well, and then school traffic's back now too.
yeah, those kids.
Those stinking kids.
So, meeting minutes,
Yeah.
I can still submit them to Delia. I can not pretend I'm Delia, but I could do everybody gets an email with these minutes and.
No, what I'd like to do is
Or-
I want you to get the meeting minutes to her, and they'll be going into a packet that we will get for the 17th.
Okay,
That's what I would prefer to do,
okay.
That sounds good.
cause,
Just to clarify process.
and what I'll do is, I will put her as part of the packet, just so the public can see what we're doing. The PDF of the Rutland, and I'm not gonna call it zoning bylaw, amendment to subdivision regulations, rules and regulations. That'll be in that packet. And Amanda, what I think I'll do is I'll also put that Princeton one in that packet for
Sure.
her for next week. So the public will have access to everything we're doing. If they wanna come and comment, they got the same information that we do.
Yeah, cause I feel that Paxton and Princeton and Rutland have very similar
Oh, they are.
very, very similar.
Oh, they're Wachusett District,
Yeah,
yeah.
versus if, we look at more out in the 128 belt, it's
Yeah.
just not gonna,
And if you go the other way, the one thing I've been learning from John and from Dave George is, and I know you might not think this, but Rutland's structure that we have is almost like comparing Boston to Rutland. When we go farther west,
It drops off.
it doesn't drop. Having the buildings they have to meet in, their skill set in their planning and select board and stuff, and I'm not digging on, I'm just saying the participation is ridiculously low compared to what we have here, so.
Yeah, until you
I'm
hit,
proud of the people that we have here and the people are involved. The farther you go west, it gets a lot worse,
until you hit
so.
a city or a larger town.
I wouldn't even, like Springfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
then
Holyoke,
then
yeah.
it slows
Holyoke.
down again and then builds up maybe to
Yeah.
Pittsfield.
That's
every community is unique.
Yeah.
And you get to New York.
That's where I'd love to
So-
have the capital move to Pittsfield.
Man,
Don't say that,
I didn't say a word.
just by your expression.
I did.
Because I just wanna see what they down there would say about Pittsfield when they had to move out there.
Maybe they would. read-
Well, didn't we have, and I'm
Give it
getting
up
off
as
topic,
right.
didn't we have a, what's the, governor, not assistant governor,
Lieutenant?
lieutenant governor out from that area? And this was, I can't remember her name,
Jane Swift.
Jane Swift,
And she
yeah.
took the helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
remember those. I was a kid, but yeah, I knew that wasn't
So-
back then.
I will go to what was, it's not in here, but I like to always do that. Is there any unanticipated business outside of what we've, and I'm gonna take the enforcement and open space as sort of out of order. That was unanticipated business, cause it wasn't on there. We really shouldn't have talked about it, and I probably should have stopped it, but I thought it was good unanticipated business that we need to cover. Cause I think this committee should be a little bit more wide berth, and I'm sort of like Norm, I'd rather talk about it than, we gotta shut it down, so. I will shut down if we get in the weeds too much, cause I wanna focus on this site plan,
Yep.
I really wanna get this done.
Yeah.
And get it to, I'd like to have it finished and to the planning board, this year and get it on, so.
Yep.
Typically, the builders start showing up in December and January for spring building. So, and I anticipate subdivisions with the way housing prices are accelerating and the Fed's gonna drop the interest rate.
Yeah.
So I expect housing to take off. Again, I'm not a crystal ball, but it's my gut. Cause I've seen it before, I've seen the cycle, especially in this part of the country where
Alright.
as soon as the interest rates drop, it's craziness. So Dick, we can sell our house and move into a shack and kid.
In Pittsfield.
In Pittsfield.
Pittsfield.
There you go.
I think we got an hour and a half, that's what I'm gonna shoot for from now
That's
on.
great.
If we get into the weeds, it might go maybe 2, but I will not let a meeting go more than 2 hours, cause it
That's
just,
good.
we've got too many meetings. I've gotta run RDIC tomorrow and I still can't get in touch with Ross,
Oh, boy.
You can't finish it all in
Really?
one night, so.
yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day. I just sent both the PDF version and my Word document version of
Outstanding.
Princeton's. With the PDF that's directly from Princeton's website, my Word document, I've done it as we're sitting here. I copied and pasted everything. I don't think that I missed anything. But some of the, like, the headers, like maybe a little bit
Yeah.
off, so
I'm looking for meat, I could care less
Yeah,
about prettiness.
I think there's some good stuff in there.
So I'd asked before I asked for an adjournment, do some homework the next 2 weeks.
Sure.
Come back with red lines as I call them and let's delve into the weeds. And
I'll wait for
Keith, you've done a phenomenal job over there of taking notes, I've been watching you scribble.
And your little recorder.
Scribbles,
Yeah.
Yeah, they.
You know what?
They do record up there, but.
Ask, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say the same thing to the planning board next week. I saw they had chat, AI, whatever. I think our clerk should get a copy of that, so they can review
Oh, yeah.
what the notes are versus what was taken in the meeting.
Oh,
and see if-
interesting, yeah.
That way Tamika used to do that, she would tape everything and then go back and see if she missed anything in her notes. So, now we have Chat GPT or whatever AI, let's
Yeah,
use
we
it.
can.
Captioning, yeah.
So, I'm not sure who to request that
Well, I
from.
can ask them when.
Yeah, well, before you leave, ask them, and if you need to do an official, it's
Yeah, just
what
like
is it,
TV,
the
television.
television media, send an email to, I think,
Cable,
the cable
Advisory.
commission, whoever the chairman is, and ask for that, and give them date and, meeting, and
Yeah.
ask for it.
Speed meter.
And if you get any problems with anything, call me,
Yep,
cause I'll give David a call and or Jen and say, no, we want that. You have the right to.
well, yeah, if it produces a document.
Yeah, if it doesn't, that's fine, but I don't want you getting stonewalled.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, I will
So
take
meanwhile,
at the
does the
ranch.
town, they ready for any more subdivisions?
I know.
No. They don't even know if the sewer line's full or not.
That is a water and
Probably
sewer
is.
commission, which
Pardon?
is.
Probably is.
The gentleman just left.
Yeah, I know.
Who, Harry?
Harry.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
select board member.
No,
He's-
it's
I'm
been
sorry,
that, it's
he's
been
Select
asked of
board.
them time and
Nice.
time again.
Yeah.
they run the water and sewer?
Yep, they're the water and sewer
Yeah.
commission
Oh, that's
officially.
right, they were talking about that bill at one point, yeah.
Yeah,
And they better get their act together, because if tomorrow DCR calls up and says, hey, no more tapping into the sewer line, it's full. And our old DPW director said it was nearly full, and that was how many,
Joe,
about 3 years ago,
Joe
4
and-
years ago?
he used data to come up with that, he just didn't pull it out of the air.
Yep. And so help me, for crying out loud, and we're supposed to hold 60,000 gallons a day, or something like that, or 30,000, I don't know what it was, for the Rutland Heights people, that was held off for them. So, to me, for crying out loud, and Norm had mentioned, the next time a subdivision comes in here that's gonna tie into it, they're the ones that are gonna have to do
Upgrades.
have Weston and Sampson, the town
Pay for
engineer,
a study, yes.
pay for a study. And I can hear the whistles blowing now.
Well, I think the first thing we should do is like we talked about here, is part of the review process is sending it to the DPW.
Yeah.
Chris should be
Yeah.
saying, I'm out of capacity, I'm not gonna give, cause he gives the water and sewer permits, not the
Yeah.
select board.
Well, on Brittenell, they just added a bunch of new sewer lines. Those are being connected. I don't even know how many houses are going over there.
Yeah,
There'll be 13 plus 4 A&Rs,
something like that,
Is
yeah.
that
so
next?
17 houses.
Is that the 17 next to the Joneses? Right next to the
Yes.
Jones across from the Grolls?
Yeah,
Yeah, George sold all of that property,
Did it?
and
Yeah.
then they've got a road going up, and there's 13 estate lots.
Do we know when they're doing that? Cause they just cut it all down and left it looking like
Yeah,
garbage.
that happened years ago.
That happened like a
No,
year
Yes,
ago.
it
Finished.
did.
They
It was like
cut
a year ago.
They cut
Yeah.
those down a
It
while
was just-
ago.
Yeah, it was
Past
last year
winter.
they cut them down.
but they, I don't think they've cut it all yet.
Yeah, see, there's a whole bunch back there, cause that goes up against Glenn's property,
Yes, it
getting
does.
Papellas, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
And
It does.
did they do a traffic study for that?
No,
For
Yeah.
all the traffic
Oh my
that they're
God,
adding
there's
to
so much more
the,
traffic on this road.
to that road? I mean, I bear the brunt
Brindle's
of it
getting
living at the end of
destroyed.
it. Oh, yeah.
I call the DPW frequently because I'm at the beginning of where it connects to Palmagussit. People bomb down that road.
Come
That
down
road-
my end.
You
It's
know,
insane.
it's insane.
Insane.
That road can be paved too, even though many people in town have said that it's a
You're gonna have
Conestoga
speed
road.
bumps?
And it can have speed bumps, it can have all of that.
Ugh, I don't
It
want it to
doesn't
be
have to
paved,
say a
though.
dirt road.
I mean, I don't want it to not be a dirt road, but like, where's the town getting the millions of dollars to pay for
They
that?
need 18 million, where are they getting at?
Yeah, it's not
Well,
good.
they're getting 800,000 in the next 2 years
Yeah.
from Mara Healy. She
Yeah.
signed over almost $1 million, but I mean, that's 17 short.
Yeah.
You know, there's parts of Turkey, is it Turkey Hill?
Oh, yeah.
Those are bumpy.
I
And
did,
they probably were dirt at one point, but,
I don't think dirt is the key, I think mud bogs.
well,
yeah, really.
like the edges, you know, when they ice heave or the water freezes,
Yeah.
it is, so it's, sometimes it's like,
The
it
fire
should
brigade's
just
been
stay a dirt road, cause you
The
know,
fire brigades
fix it.
were big and over there when
The
we
depth of
donate
the gravel, it was
Christmas
sort of
trees,
very-
and
very
that place
minimal.
is a disaster, we
Yeah.
only go over there with
Yeah,
trucks,
so-
Instead of being
a car would
12
be
inches,
destroyed.
it's probably about
Not only do
6.
people
so the-
fly up
the
and
road
down, but
moves
it's
all the
giant
time.
cement trucks, 20-wheel semis and everything like that, and then there's so much trash on that road. I pick up
there's a lot of
trash
trash.
every single, probably 3 or 4
I
times a
did
year
look at
and come
that
out with
stone wall.
a buckets full.
I do like what the restoration that they did to it, I mean,
You're
that's my
joking.
opinion.
You're serious?
Yeah, I
Are you
think
serious?
it's,
Do you want me to pull up pictures on my phone? It's
I'm
huge
not-
boulders, Tim. They're bigger than
No,
my
which one?
dog.
Which one?
Which one are you
The
talking
new-
about?
The
new
little
house?
section,
Excavator marks all over them, those big white
Wait, hold
teeth
on.
marks.
Which one are you talking about?
it's the one A&R lot that, looks like there was a section restored. I can't, I didn't take
Yeah,
pictures
it's
of
the
it, I
one-
just drove by.
I know what you're talking
Well,
about.
yeah.
The boulders.
I would respectfully disagree.
I will respectfully disagree too. I know that this isn't.
How
No,
about
no, yeah.
Glenn Coppola's, how about the stone wall he did on
That
Palmagussit?
looks nice.
That does look nice.
I thought that looked
Well, you
pretty
know what,
nice.
someone told me it's been there the whole time, it's just.
No,
was
it hasn't.
covered,
No, it
It was
has
covered.
not.
Where was
It
this?
was covered, but Glenn
He cleared
Coppola's,
Right, or
Yeah.
fixed.
I
it.
mean, I did the stone wall
Just
along
curious.
Campbell by my street. I moved it all out and everything, but it was already there. It just was completely covered in.
Oh, my neighbor's been
Yeah.
riding me
Yeah.
for 20 years, more than 20 years to
I'm well aware.
fix mine.
Keith,
Maybe
just
is
so you
that
can
the-
see. That is it. Look at how huge those boulders are. If you wanna pass it around next, you can see it
they're-
too.
they're big.
Oh,
And make sure that
supposedly-
we're talking about the same.
But the problem
ones.
is if you
Supposedly they're the same rock.
not.
give an inch, take a mile, my friend. Like
well, let's just put it this way.
if we let him do this here, he's gonna try and
Oh,
do it
that's not the
again,
one I was looking at.
and then we're gonna have to
Okay.
say,
No, that's not
like,
the one
well,
I was
no,
looking
we
at.
There
weren't
was like no.
I didn't even
strict
see
enough
that
last
one.
time. Like it.
This is.
No.
Yeah.
This is a repeated like there's a pattern of behavior of I'm not gonna ask for permission, I'm gonna beg for forgiveness, and then,
Tim's
I don't wanna say
usually,
whining and crying, make complaining when we say, no, this is what we want, and then it's, I'm gonna sue, and da-da-da-da-da.
That's at
I don't
65.
listen to that, I'm not, I sue me to death.
So Tim, that's at 65. Which one are you talking about?
This
That's the
is,
one we're talking about.
this is,
We
I'll have
thought
to
the
go look.
boulders were the road closure stone wall.
Yeah, it was on, if you're going towards
Those are even-
Alex's, it was on the left, and it was, they were like white, I mean, they were larger stones, get me right, but they were actually in a wall, as opposed to just, like, those are just thrown there.
It looks terrible.
Yeah, the one I'm talking about actually were stacked, and there was like a squareness to it. It was a,
On
again,
Britnell?
yeah, on Britnell.
Okay, I'll take a look tomorrow when
It
I
was on the
walk
left
dogs.
side, it was
Take
just
pictures and send them to me because
it was just a short section, and I'm going like, oh, it's not bad, at least it looks like a wall, as
Coming
opposed to just.
from Campbell, is it past the development?
See, I don't remember. I literally,
Okay.
I was
I'll
coming
take a
home
look.
last night and Randy had me at his frickin' farm trying to fix his, he's got 50 gigabytes, 379,000 emails back to 2012. And Yahoo shot him down. Anyhow,
Yeah.
let me take a,
That's why
I'll
you
get
can
Randy
get
in
back to
trouble.
me.
yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any comments or any discussion? Vote.
Aye.
Aye.
8:02.
8:32. Okay, we're done. You can shut us off, sir.
8:02.
Thank you.
8:02.
Thanks.
Oh,
I have to go pee again.
Go.
And there we go.
Gatorade and the water.